Hello lovely, and welcome back to the vlog. If you're new here, my name is Tiffany, and my husband and I have been trying to have another baby for about 4 years. We did take some time off in 2022, but at the end of 2023 I found out I still really wanted a second baby, and we have been trying ever since. We are working with a new fertility specialist this year, and we have a new plan in place, and so far I do have some updates and I wanted to share them with you today. So if you saw my monthly reset or my catch-up vlog, you'll know that I had a initial evaluation recently, and that has been with RMA of Lake Mary. I really love the facility. I realized that I didn't go into detail how that appointment went, so I kind of wanted to recap a little bit with what I've been through already and what we're looking at doing next. So far with RMA, we did the initial evaluation, we've done a semen analysis, we did a kind of like consultation to kind of like go over everything that needs to be done. We also did a bunch of blood work, and they give you like a printed out sheet of everything that needs to happen and needs to like be done before we can move on to the next steps and like what the next steps look like. So for me, whenever we went in, I needed to start a prenatal, which I had already done, start a vitamin D3, which I had already done, and to call the nurse to schedule my day 3 blood work, which I already did there. We also did the baseline ultrasound, a physical, and the urine culture, and we also did, like I said, a bunch of blood work. So for me, I did ovarian reserve testing, I did the preconception panel, the infectious disease, and then we're doing genetic testing as well. We also pulled a PCOS panel for me because I'm not happy about this, but it's just something that has never even like been mentioned to me before, and finally I feel like I'm with doctors and a facility that can give me like some answers. When they were doing the ultrasound with me, they looked at my left ovary and they said that it had PCOS like tendencies. So typically with your ovaries, whenever you have the follicles developing like within your cycle, so I was on cycle day 3, they're supposed to look like a chocolate chip cookie is how I was described them to look like. So you'll have like the round, and then you'll just have like a bunch of like dots. It looks like a chocolate chip cookie. But with PCOS ovaries, it's a round, but then the dots are just lined on the outside of the ovary. And they said that that's what my left ovary looked like. It had characteristics of like a PCOS ovary. So they wanted to go ahead and do the panel for that as well. I did get my blood work back from that, and they said that I had slightly heightened testosterone. The other levels were fine, but my testosterone was like 0.5 higher than what it should be. So they're saying that there is a potential diagnosis for PCOS, but that it's not confirmed because I do have regular periods. So they checked the thyroid, they checked the AMH, they checked everything else. Everything else looked fantastic. They also said I have really good egg reserves, so they're not concerned about anything like that, but they did say that it's a potential to have a PCOS diagnosis. So the next step, as you might know if you listen to my update video, is the HSG, and we did kind of get things a little bit more settled. What's going to end up happening is I'm going to pay the out-of-pocket rate for the HSG, and then they are going to reimburse me. I scheduled that for Thursday, and once I get that, that's just to see if there is any blockages in my tubes or anything looks weird with the uterus itself. So as long as everything looks fine there, then I think our next step will be to move forward with like an IUI. They do require genetic testing before we can move forward though, so that is something that we're gonna have to do. But the good thing is that with Maven, it does kind of like lay out everything that's included, and they do cover genetic testing. So I just have to figure out how to bill it, because like you might know, the whole Maven thing is just very new, and I'm still trying to figure out how to get everything sorted correctly. So far, that is where we're at right now. I have never been potentially diagnosed with PCOS. I've never heard that my follicles have PCOS tendencies. I never got a PCOS panel done. Like, this is the first time that has even been a remote diagnosis. So I'm not happy that I might have PCOS, but I am happy that I'm finally hearing something that might be contributing to why we're not able to conceive on our own. Because always it's been, oh, we don't know, and just recently they did find out that my uterus is tilted back. It's a inverted, what do they call it? Not an inverted, but like it's flipped. My uterus is flipped, so it faces the opposite way of what a normal uterus does, but that shouldn't have any kind of effect on conception. So it's just so interesting at the first like consultation with this place that they're already like, oh, we see some tendencies that might be the reason that you guys are having trouble, which I've never heard before. When we had our first child, I was very young. I was 18 when we got pregnant, so PCOS can develop. It can be something that develops later. Obviously, whenever your hormones change, your body changes. So I don't know if that's something that actually happened or if it's something that has always kind of just been an underlying. They did say though that even if it is a diagnosis, that typically whenever you get on letrozole, it kind of evens out the testosterone levels, and that's not a concern for them moving forward with whatever treatment plan they want to go forward with, because they say that getting on letrozole will fix that problem. As for Manny, he did get the blood work done for infectious diseases, and then I think he got some kind of genetic testing, but not the full genetic testing done, and then he did get the semen analysis done. So everything for him came back great. There was a slight morphology. The numbers weren't 100% on the morphology, which is like the shape of them, but we kind of knew that already because that was what he had been told prior. So what they told us then was just to get on vitamin C and CoQ10, and that would help the shape of them. So that's what we plan on doing again, just to make sure everything looks great. But they said that that's not a concern for doing IUIs, which is what we're leaning towards doing anyway. So they're saying that he doesn't have to be retested and that we'll be good to go whenever I'm ready to do the first IUI to use his sample, no problem. I know that was a lot of information. I feel like I just like blah, 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 blah. But I'm excited. I'm ready. I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like I'm finally with a facility that's like on top of it, and just like I'm gonna finally get somewhere with them, if that makes any sense. And like I said in my catch-up vlog, I'm not dissing or talking ill about the other facilities that I've been to. This one is just so, they're just so on it. Like they're just so on it. When I walked in, they were just like boom, 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 and like even following up like to the HSG and afterwards, they've just been phenomenal. So I'm really happy that I'm with them. That is something I'm very happy that Maven did for me. And Maven does provide me with a lot of other resources. I didn't want to sound like I'm not grateful for the resource, because I really am. I love Maven. It's just this whole billing thing that's become the issue, but I do love Maven for the resources that they provide and the education that they provide with infertility and fertility treatments. It's been amazing. It's just the using them as a insurance that's made things complicated. I plan on vlogging as much as I can for the HSG. This is something that I got done in 2021, and I had not a negative experience, but I had no idea what to expect with my first HSG. And now that I know my body a little bit more with all of the testing and everything that I've been through, I kind of know what to expect a little bit more. So I'm going to be a little bit better prepared. Like I said, I plan on vlogging as much as I can and sharing my experience. The last time I had this done, it was in 2021, and now it's 2024. So I'm anticipating a different experience, hopefully a better one, but we'll see. We shall see. Other than that, our next steps from this spot are going to be the genetic testing, and that has to be done. It is required to do that before any kind of IUIs can be completed. So that's going to be my kind of homework, is to like get in touch with Maven, try to get the genetic testing set up for Manny and myself so that we can completely get that taken care of, so that doesn't hold us back from doing an IUI, maybe even this cycle. I am now out of my period. I think I'm day 4 or day 5. I think I'm day 5, because they like to schedule the HSG between day 6 and day 12. And so I'll be like day 8 on HSG day. And then after that point, they're probably going to want to start the letrozole and just like really get this ball rolling. But I have to get the genetic testing done. So that's going to be my homework to do and to get completed before we can move forward. But I'm really looking forward to this process. I'm hopeful for this process, and I'll be praying for this process, because now I just feel like it feels like it's getting real again. So yeah, I'm excited. But I'll keep you up to date with everything that happens, and I'll let you know how the HSG goes.